All right, slope intercept form. Why am I speaking so distinctly? I don't know, moving on. Okay, so slope intercept form is what we're working on today. So equations written in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So here's a nice big version of it. Y equals mx plus b. All right, so copy this into your notes. Actually, I should probably already have it there, but anyways, we're going to go. On the same coordinate plane, use ordered pairs or intercepts to graph these equations in different colors in your notes. Well, in this case, I'm going to do it on here. If you have different colored pencils, that'd be awesome. I'd be really proud. Okay, so if we look at this equations, so y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So if I match up, m would be 2. So my slope would be 2 here. Technically, that's 2 over 1 would be my rise over run. And my y-intercept is going to be a positive 1. So in this case, my slope is going to be 1/3, and my y-intercept is going to be negative 3. Negative 2 over 1, technically, and positive 1. So find the slope and the y-intercept of each line, compare each line with that of the value of its slope in the y-intercept. Okay, so if I was going to graph these, I'm going to take the y-intercept, so this one's at plus 1, and I'm going to do a rise of 2 and a run of 1. I'm going to go up 2, and I'm going to go to the right because it's positive 1. It's going to end up looking like this. That's 1. Ooh, let's do different colors. Why not? Blue. So for this one, it starts at negative 3. And this is a rise of 1, run of 3, 1 over 3. Rise of 1 over 3. It's positive, so it's going to be going up. So that one looks like that. What color should we do this time? Ooh, yellow. So this one's going to start at positive 1 as well. And it's going to go negative 2. So up 2 to the left. Actually, I think go down and to the right, because it's going to go up and it's going to go falling to the right. Like that. Not as easy to see as I'd hoped it would be. Moving on. Why am I doing this again? All right, so here's those same things. So all the equations were in the form y equals mx plus b. So here is your slope intercept with your slope intercept. And we kind of already went through everything that was on here. All right, so state the slope and y-intercept of the graph of y equals 1/2 x plus 3. So our original equation, green is going to be our slope and blue is our y-intercept. So m is 1/2, b is 3. So our answer is on the slope of the graph is 1/2, and the y-intercept is 3. It doesn't have to have a positive 3 there, it just has to be 3. But if it was negative, you would have to have negative. All right, state the slope and the y-intercept of the graph of y equals 2x minus 7. Go! All right, so if I write y equals mx plus b underneath this, I can match them up if I really want. Circle them. This is a visual way. You don't have to do it this way. So my slope, m equals 2, and b is negative 7. And side note, I will want to see m and b equals rather than just that. So I want to see this and this in your homework. State the slope and y-intercept of this graph. All right, so we're going to take the original equation. We need now to, I say manipulate the graph, or manipulate the equation to get it into the form y equals mx plus b. So I basically need to format it to y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4x from each side, or sorry, add 4x. So that'll cancel these two. Simplify that. Now I'm going to have to divide both sides by 5. Divide each side by 5. So divide by 5. Divide the whole thing by 5. So that would give me a 2 over here. And what they've done here is they actually are flipping them as they, oh, no, they didn't flip them. So -2 ends up here, 5 over 2, 5 over 4. And to completely get it in mx plus b format, you're actually going to have to swap these two from where they were earlier. So here, these two need to switch because we need that x to be here. So all I do is just reorder it, but keep the sign. So I kept the sign, simplify it, so I can say y equals mx plus b. So I can say the slope of the graph is 4/5 and the y-intercept is 2. All right, your turn, go. Okay, so I take my thing here, I go down plus y equals 1. I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to add 5x. I'm going to add 5x on both sides. I'm actually going to swap these two now. So 5x, this was a positive 1, and then equals y. So did you catch me switching those? You could have written them down here as 1 plus 5x and then switched them. Either way works. So, then I'd say my slope equals 5 and y-intercept equals 1. And you could even write this as y-intercept. I'd be totally okay with that. All right, so now we're actually going to graph this using the slope and y-intercepts. So first we're going to find the slope and y-intercepts. So we take our original equation, we're going to have to put it into y equals mx plus b format, which is just subtract 3 from both sides, and then swap the things to put it into format. Yay, I work at a school. Moving on. So slope equals -3, and the y-intercept is 9. So I take that to my graph here, and I know the y-intercept is 9, so I'm going to start it up here. So 9, and I said my slope was -3, so that's technically -3 over 1, rise over run, to locate the second point. And I know that because it's a negative slope, it's going to be going down on this side. It was like going downhill. So my change in y over change in x is down 3 units. Oh, I like this. Change in y, down 3 units. Change in x, right 1 unit, because it's positive. Or sorry, since it's negative. So we write the other point as 1, 6. And we could draw a line through those 2 points. And there is my line. You could have done a third one down a little further, and a fourth one would have been like that if you'd really wanted. All right, your turn. Graph these. Go. All right, 2x, or -2x plus 3y equals 12. So I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to add 2x. So that's going to give me 3y equals 2x plus 12. So I just pulled the 12 over there. Divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. Divide each term all by the same one. And that'll give me 2/3 x. And then divide plus 4 equals y. So plus 4 is my y-intercept. So when I graph this, they're going to put a graph on here in a second, I'm sure. So I would need to go to plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, draw my line. Change in y is 2, so I'd have to go, it's positive, so I'd go up 2, and then to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to end up like that, approximately. Yep. Oh, they went this way. That's fine, too. Right, a small school group bakes cookies for a bake sale. Spends $75 on ingredients, then sells the cookies for $5 a dozen. The amount earned can be represented by the graph y equals 5x minus 75, where x equals the number of them sold. Graph the equation. So I'm going to take that equation, find the slope and y-intercept. So my y-intercept is -75, and slope is 5. So slope, 5, y-intercept, -75. So we're going to start at the point 0, -75, then go up 5 to the and 1, up 5 and 1 to the right, and connect those points. So they kind of cheated on this and made this 50 and 100. So they're going to start at -75 here. and then I'm going to go up 1 and to the right, up 1 and to the right, end up looking like that. This line, when it comes to this, it depends on how you scale it to what it's going to look like. All right, describe the y-intercept and what they represent. So the y-intercept represents the cost, because they told us it did, and the slope of phi represents the dollars earned per cookie, or per dozen cookies. All right, your turn, go. Well, they told us here. So my y-intercept is 150, and my slope is 12, because the company spends $150 on materials, so that's where they start. Then they sell shirts for $12 each. So for how many shirts? How much money total? Really should have hit pause there, knowing that it was going to ring again. Moving along. So I'd start at negative 150, and I'm going to go over by, it'd be great to go over in 12s to get over here, but we'll see what they did. They went over in 10, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and found it. All you have to do is find 2 points, draw a line through it. Describe what the y-intercept and slope represent. Well, you're going to have to go back here. The y-intercept is this, and the x-intercept is this. Oh, I just told you. Okay, so the y-intercept is the money they spent, or where they started. That's why they lost $150, and the slope is 12, so that's how much they earn per t-shirt. See you in class.